Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Fat Loss Secrets podcast. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I am Angela. I am a certified macronutrition coach. I'm also an emotional eating expert. I help women who struggle with diet sabotage or struggle with being able to stick to their diets, find a way of eating or eating framework that works for them, and unblock all of the things that get in the way from being able to stick to that plan and lose weight. I've also been an amateur fitness competitor way back in my 20s. I'm now over 40 and fighting the good fight against weight gain, as well as a lot of other women. And I am here to help support you with this journey. And today I wanted to really focus on a tool that is so often overlooked with the weight loss, fat loss, bodybuilding, body reshaping, whatever your fitness journey is. In that process, this tool, I think, is very much essential, but it's not really one that gets talked about. It's not really one that a lot of women like to focus on or think about. You could probably even do an eye roll when I mention this, and that is using the tool of gratitude to help you on your journey. And I know when I say that initially, like my gut reaction is, oh, this is so trite. Yes, be grateful. We need to practice gratitude. Like it's a platitude you see on a cat poster somewhere, and not necessarily something that you really feel like can practically move the scale forward, so to speak. But let me kind of unpack why having this, tool, using this tool, expressing it, digging into it, and having it be kind of your operating system, your posture as you lose weight, how essential it is, and how it actually physically and emotionally makes a huge difference with what this journey feels like, your success, and all the other things, because it affects a lot. If you think about it, whenever someone starts a diet, whenever someone starts a weight loss process, especially if they have been in process for a long time, they've been in this position of, I really need to lose weight, I keep trying and failing, it feels like such a long journey, they feel so stuck. What ends up happening when you're in that space? And that is, it's easy to complain. And if you start to complain, because I see it happen all the time, us women, right? If we just begin to raise that flag of, oh, weight loss is so hard, how many other women are going to come running to you and say, yes, amen, I know, I just love to eat and I can't diet, I can't. And the next thing you know, you're piling on all the I can'ts and all the reasons why this is impossible. It's so hard. It's never going to happen. And you get a lot of validation in some respects for it being hard and for you being stuck, because everybody understands and everybody wants to sympathize and everybody kind of wants to, in some respects, make it okay. Make it okay. I know it's hard. I'm struggling too. And that kind of takes the pressure off, right? So now I can eat because I'm struggling and you're struggling too. And we can just look the other way and we won't hold each other accountable. We'll just help, each other destroy our goals and say that they're impossible and kind of rally around that, right? I mean, I'm kind of taking it to a far extreme, but it kind of feels like that sometimes. Whereas if you were to go into a crowd of women and you were to be like, hey, I am so grateful for my weight loss and how my body is responding, you might get, some polite, like, oh, that's wonderful, man, we're proud, good for you, good for you. But there even might be a sense of, they're not really all that happy for me, they're kind of jealous, or or yeah, they're looking at it like, oh, it must be great that you're doing this thing, or you can stick to it, or you're probably doing the shots, or you're probably doing some crazy fad diet and it works for you, but not me, right? So in some respects, the gratitude piece of this process and actually being successful and using gratitude to be successful, it doesn't really get rewarded. It isn't a position that we women are used to fighting this battle from, because it's much easier. It feels more natural to just fight it from a place of complaint and frustration and defeat. And that's what tends to get you rewarded, because everybody can relate to that. There's so few people that seem to be able to win with this battle. And so it's easy to just kind of stay stuck in this complaining mindset. But here's the thing that gratitude will do for you if you're willing to move from the camp of stuck complaining and where everybody else is and getting that validation from everybody else, and shifting over to the new camp of, I'm going to win at this. I'm going to be part of the 10% that win at this, take it off, and it stays off because I want better things. I want things that most people don't attain and don't have, right? I want to be in the group of people that seem to be unicorns because I believe in myself, right? You kind of have to go to that place of, I want to be in the successful camp. I don't want to sit in the grumbling and complaining camp because they're just going to keep getting the same results. That's what complaining does, keeps you the same. I want to go over here to the success camp, right? So once you're able to move camps and switch that position, this is where you take a hold of the gratitude and you begin to feel grateful for where you're at and what you have around you. You intentionally feel grateful for your body. You intentionally celebrate every little thing that you possibly can, because that practice of being grateful and celebrating and fighting this battle from victory instead of feeling like you have to fight to get victory, right? Saying, I'm already great. I'm already victorious. My body's already awesome. I'm already in a position of power. I just want to make it more glorious. I want to go from glory to glory. I just want to make it better. I just want to grow it. I just want to see what my potential is. I want to see how healthy I can be, right? When you shift that, what you're actually doing is shifting from a fixed mindset, which is where the complaining camp is, into more of a growth learner beginner mindset that's focused on appreciating where you're at and learning new things and growing your abilities. So it's not like, oh, I'm bad, everything's bad, and I'm going to fail, like the past fail fixed mindset kind of a mentality. What you're doing is you're saying, I know that this is where I'm at, and I'm grateful that I'm here, and I accept that I'm here, and I am going to fail, but I'm going to learn in the process. And I just want to see, I don't have to be anything other than I am. I accept me as I am. I just want to see how far I can take this and have fun and grow myself along the way. So it's not about, I have to reach this number by a certain time. It's more about, I want to become the person who reaches that number and is able to maintain it, because I want to experience myself doing this and figure out, how I can grow and just be a different person, just grow all the things as I'm doing this, right? This is the opposite of perfectionism. And the grumblers tend to be more of that perfectionistic, fixed kind of space, which is why it feels so hard and why they want the validation for not being able to do it, because then they don't have to try and fail. If I don't have to actually execute this thing and I can just complain about how hard it is and everybody loves me, I don't have to actually fail. I don't have to put myself out there. I'm failing right now by not doing anything about it. And I can just keep being celebrated for my failure and not have to really deal with it and not have to deal with what I really want, right? But when you stick your head out there and you're willing to do something really hard and you're willing to grow yourself and you're saying, I want more and I want to grow, then what's going to give you strength when things get difficult, because you're going to have to be challenged. That's the only way we grow. We have to overcome things in order to learn new things, in order to become different people. It's the challenges that actually create the transformation. So when you're in that gratitude celebration space, we can now welcome some of those challenges. We can actually take a reframe and take a different approach to when challenges come, because we can take a step back and we can say, what can I learn from this? I'm curious. What specifically is the thing that is in the way? I'm curious. Is there any part of what I'm doing that's not consistent, right? We can actually sit and evaluate, and we can be grateful for the opportunity to learn. This provides a safe place emotionally for you to explore and without judgment. Because when you're grateful and you embrace gratitude and celebration, you aren't judging yourself. You can't complain and be grateful at the same time. They're two different operating systems. So if you're grateful for how far you've come, and you're grateful for what you have around you, and you're grateful for your capabilities, and you're grateful that your body is currently in this state of health, that you're not bedridden, that you have a heart that's beating for you every day, those types of things, it's much easier to build on that than it is to build on, I'm failing, everything's failing, I'm terrible, I'm bad. Well, what can we build? Well, you're bad. Well, what do we do to make you good then? Like, what? There's really no, you get boxed in. There's no place to go from there, right? So if you've had a hard time finding things that you can celebrate or pat yourself on the back for, and just if even just proposing this, that you wake up tomorrow and you say, I am proud of myself for how I've stuck with this. I'm proud of myself. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm proud of myself for what I've been able to achieve so far. I'm proud of myself that I have healthy lungs and I have pretty good eyesight and I can hear and I can taste and I'm grateful. If just saying that feels hard for you, and even some people, like when I propose that, it just makes them want to vomit, right? They're just like, ugh. They hate themselves that much, or they feel like such a failure. They hate their fruit or their results so much they can't get beyond that. Then I would suggest that you are probably leaning towards having a fixed mindset. And that in and of itself is keeping you stuck, because when you're stuck in this perfectionism, fixed mindset, I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough, it's not perfect, it's not enough, all these things, then no matter what actions you take, it's never going to work, because when you put it into the prism of I'm bad, I'm not enough, it's not good enough, I can't do this, I should be here, all the other things that kind of come with that fixed mindset, then it's going to demotivate you and you can't win that game. When you're in that paradigm, you can't, it's a no-win situation. You can't win the game that you're playing. So why would you even try? Eventually you're going to give up. So that's why you have to choose to switch camps and go from the complaining fixed people over here to the gratitude, learning, growth people. And you have to trade all of that, fixation on everything you're not, which gratitude forces you to do. And you have to hone this as a skill. I'm grateful for what I am. I'm not going to focus on everything I'm not. I can find plenty of things that I'm not right now, but I can also find plenty of things that I am, and I'm going to choose to do that. And when you start to affirm that, it might feel a little funny to you if your brain is used to feeling safer, or used to feeling like the truth is everything bad, everything good is not true. Your brain doesn't feel safe affirming things, or it feels unfamiliar. So it may kind of get a little wonky the first couple of times you do this. But this is an important tool, because the more you're able to celebrate the little things, the easier it'll be to see and celebrate the bigger things. It's not the number on the scale that matters, honestly, as much as it's, I got up and went to the gym again today. Okay, I didn't work out for 30 minutes, but I did 20 minutes. It was the best I could do. And I'm celebrating that I did something. Okay, I'm celebrating that most of the day, 80% of my day was really clean, healthy food. And I can figure out how to fix what happens when I come home at night. This is all ways that we can celebrate and be grateful and fight from a position of winning, fight from a position of doing all these things right. What else do I need to get in a row? I'm doing all these things right. What am I not missing? What do I need to learn? Or what's the one thing holding me back right now? And then we can learn, we can grow, and we can overcome this. You probably do this in some area of your life. You just never resourced it over here. I mean, if you're a parent, let's say, you didn't know how to parent until the child came into your life, and you're having to kind of learn on the job, right? So that's an example of, well, I'm not where I used to be as a parent when they were an infant. I'm not where I'm going to end up, when they leave the house, but I accept the good things I do with the parenting along with the bad, and I can build on my strengths as I parent, or something like that. Maybe it's your career that you tend to be more growth oriented, and I can learn, I can accomplish, I can figure this out, right? That's what we have to resource over here into this camp over here. And it starts by training your brain, training your mind that it's safe and it's normal and it's actually the best thing to do to find all the things that I'm doing right. Not that we want to stick our head in the sand and say, I don't need to improve anything. No, but when we look at what we need to improve from a place of I'm winning and I'm doing so good, how do I increase those results? How do I make this better? How do I get more of what I'm wanting? Then it's going to feel different. It's going to feel easier. It's going to be more joyful. And you're going to have a lot more fun along the way, and you're going to be a lot more resourceful. So I want to encourage you to start practicing this type of gratitude and start putting yourself through this type of an exercise more this week, and just see what happens, see what shifts may happen, or notice where it's hard. I'm not expecting you to do it perfect. Like, oh, I really love this gratitude thing. No, I'm actually not expecting that. That's the fixed mindset again. That has to be perfect. No, I want you to get curious and say, if I approached it this way, what would happen? How would that feel? Well, what can I learn about that? Well, what do I think about that? Is it okay that when I'm grateful for my body or I'm grateful for my actions, that I want to judge me? Is that okay? Is that really how I want to live? Right? It's questioning the thoughts, and it's staying curious, and it's picking. It's saying you get to choose the experience you want to have. And a lot of times people are afraid that if they stop judging themselves and they get into this place of ease and gratitude, that they're not going to be motivated anymore. That the only way they get motivated is by judging themselves. Well, if that worked, then why aren't you skinny already? I mean, you're judging yourself plenty. Why haven't you accomplished your goal? Because it doesn't work. It's not motivating. So it's time to try a different way. So here's some thoughts or some questions, and I'll leave them in the show notes as well, that can get you started this week as you begin to embrace more gratitude and you begin to embrace this as an operating system and a mindset and I always fight from gratitude. If I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do it in a grateful, joyful way, or it's not going to happen at all, because I know it hasn't been happening and I haven't been doing that, right? So the opposite isn't going to yield me results. So I'm going to fight this way and enjoy myself and make it count and be more meaningful, right? So a couple questions you can ask yourself. What can I celebrate about my body or myself or my weight loss journey right now? What can I celebrate right now? What can you celebrate about your body right now? What can you celebrate about this journey? What can you celebrate about yourself? Maybe it's just, I have a lot of tenacity and I haven't given up. Maybe it's that I'm really resourceful and I'm really good at staying optimistic and hopeful, whatever. What can you celebrate right now today? Think of 3 things, think of 5 things. Make it a game. How many things can I think of? It doesn't matter how little. It starts little and then it gets easier. Next question. What tools or resources are you grateful to have that can help you get closer to your goals right now or next year? At the time of this recording, we're going into New Year's here soon. So what resources are you grateful to have? Like maybe I'm sitting here thinking, I'm grateful that I have a Peloton downstairs. I'm grateful that I've got some weights in case the weather's bad and I can't make it to the gym. I'm grateful that I have a Planet Fitness membership. It's $10 a month and I can go anytime I want. And that's a great value. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I live in a place where I can run or walk anytime I need to because it stays warm most of the year. Whatever, think about what resources you currently have that you are really grateful that will help you get closer to your goals next year. See, now we're going into an open, resourceful mindset of, oh, I could do this. I could do this. It's switching you from a position of not enough and awfulness to one of hope and seeing possibilities. Next question. What could you be taking advantage of or utilizing more that could help you on your journey? So maybe this is like, you know what? I think I need to lean in on my friends a little bit. I need to be working out with some of my friends and scheduling dates with them that aren't food related, that are more workout related. Or maybe it's, I could be taking advantage of my husband, and going to the gym with him. Or I could be taking advantage of all of my wonderful Instapots and air fryers and cooking healthier foods here at home and making it easy for me. Like these are quality questions that are going to help you be resourceful and get you closer to the goal and think about ways, well, how could this be fun? And then you can feel that hope begin to open up and expand inside of yourself. What have you learned on your weight loss journey so far that you're grateful to know? Maybe you've learned something really important. Maybe you got a medical diagnosis where you're like, oh, wow, no wonder things weren't working. This is what's happening in my body. Or maybe you've learned, hey, I can eat carbs and not blow up. Or maybe you've learned, I don't hate weight training. I actually kind of like it. I don't hate exercise. I actually kind of like it, right? And what would you like to learn? Or where would you like to grow in this upcoming year or in the next 3 months? Whatever is lying before you. Where would you like to grow 3 months from now? Where would you like to learn and know and explore and be able to do 6 months from now? When we approach with gratitude and we build on what we've already been given, this is what allows us to springboard and keep that door of hope and possibility open. And when the door of hope and possibility stays open, you stay more motivated, you get more excited, And when you're excited and motivated, following through on taking action and solving these problems, overcoming these challenges gets easier and easier and easier. But it all starts with your thought process. It all starts from your operating system. And that's why gratitude has to be your operating system first in order to take advantage of all these other wonderful things, all these other wonderful tools and skills that will actually help you put everything in practice that you need to be able to be successful. So I hope that this week's episode is helpful for you. This is one of the areas where, little things like this, these are the difference makers when I coach women privately, because a lot of times when people focus on fat loss or weight loss, all they're thinking of is number on the scale and what do I have to eat, right? Like a diet, I got to stick to my diet and I got to see the number 2 pounds a week come off, right? And it becomes very fixated on the strategy. But honestly, what I find is strategies maybe 10%. If we don't have all the other things in place, the mindset, the operating system, your thoughts and your beliefs, if you're working against yourself in your head all the time, doesn't matter the strategy. We need the strategy, but we also have to have a foundation to be able to work that strategy every day and to make it work for you so it doesn't feel so hard. Just people get so bent on the strategy and the scale and pass, fail. I'm making progress, I'm not, scale hasn't moved in 2 weeks, I'm frustrated. We get so stuck in those places that all the mindset stuff, it just helps us deteriorate and we get stuck and we get lost in the complaint camp and then we don't make any progress. And that's where coaching can really be valuable sometimes, to just get you out of your own way in your head so that you can see the possibilities, so you can start to get excited again and you can go and implement. And if that's something that you'd be interested in finding out more about, you're always welcome to email me. You can also go to my website and book a free strategy call, or follow me on Instagram, social media, Facebook. So let me give you my website, getfitwithangela.com, and you can book a free strategy call there. Or you can email me, Angela@getfitwithangela.com, and we can start the conversation. Or you can go into the show notes and you can follow me on social media. And there are plenty of ways you can interact with me or book a call or ask me questions and get some solutions there as well. Thank you for listening. Until next time, have a great week.